Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly session. So, today Michael Tino will be talking on Photoshop selection tools. So, what I thought is that we'll go like a small sessions instead of learning everything together. So, I have asked him to cover only the selection tools today. Okay. So let's go to Tino.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Tino.
Yeah, so in this short session, what we are planning to do is that we will try to understand what is selection. So selections are very important in Photoshop because without selections, you cannot do any adjustments in Photoshop. Rather, you can do adjustments, but the thing is, you can adjust the entire image as a whole, and you cannot do any selective adjustments. So, in order to do selective adjustments, you need to do a selective. You need to select an area where you want to apply the selective adjustment. So, as you know, in Photoshop, there are hundreds of ways to do a single thing. So there are many tools which can do the same task again and again and again. So our ultimate aim is selection. So there are more than 10 tools by which you can do selection. So what we will just go through today is that we will just highlight the important tools which can do selection and which can be incorporated in our workflow, and how we can use this in our day-to-day shooting. So as I know, most of us are landscapers, and we encounter this issue of having a separation between the foreground, midground, and background. So most of us bracket, most of us do not bracket. So what we do is that we end up taking an image, and we find that either the foreground is dark or the background is dark, or if some areas are blown out and all those things. So when we try to adjust that, what we do is that we try to do or we try to apply an adjustment layer, and it affects the entire image. But our area of interest is that we will have to do the adjustment only in a selective area. So how do we do that? So I'll just quickly go through the tools and what are the different types of tools available in Photoshop. And I will show examples of how to use the tool, and then we'll jump into real life examples that how it will be possible to incorporate it in our workflow. So let's begin. So getting started with selections. So as you know, Photoshop is world's popular photo editor. It has various tools, and which can do magic to your photos. So Photoshop gives us a lot of selection tools. Example, the marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, and lasso tool, and all those things. So these tools are there to speed up our workflow. So if the intention was only to do a selection, there will be hardly one tool which can do the selection. But what Photoshop has done is that Photoshop has given various tools, and each tool, even though they do the same job, selection, they do it in a different way. Like as a user, you will have XYZ requirements. So in order to fulfill all your requirements, Photoshop has so many tools which will help you to do your selection precisely and more quicker. So this is the whole intention of the selective selection tools. So what you can expect from this session is that we will first understand why we need selection, and then we will understand the basic selection tools, and then we'll go to the various tools like the rectangular, elliptical, and how these tools can be used in our real life scenarios. So this is the basic intention of the session. So as I said, what is selection? Now, selection is something like an area where you want to do a manipulation. Manipulation in the sense it is not to be confused with compositing or changing. It is just an area where it is just an area of interest, you can say. So in this case, if I have to remove only the flower, if you see the flower is in the plant, okay, so I cannot just like that move the flower from that. So I have to select it. So if you see, there are different shapes in a petal. It is not one single shape in a petal. So there are different shapes in a petal. So I have to use a tool which will select all the petals, okay, in a precisely way, so that I can isolate the flower from the background. So this can be done using various ways. So this is typically selection. Now, why do you select a flower? Maybe you find that the color is less saturated, so you want to increase the yellows in the flower, or you can put this in a different place, or you can do like you can decrease the size of the flower, you can shrink it, you can expand it. So for all these functions, selection is the basic tool which will help you to isolate the subject and then do your whatever manipulation you want to, you can do it. Now, when I say selection, selections can be seen, selections are shown in Photoshop in different ways. The most common way is the marching ants, which you see here. So if you see here, there is a marching ant on top of the on the border of the flower. So the white and the black one, these are called marching ants. So this marching ant shows that this flower is selected. So that is how you know that the photo is selected. So these are the marching ants. So the thing is that as long as the photo is selected, whatever adjustment you do, it affects only the area where it is selected. So whatever adjustment you want to do outside the selection, it will not happen as long as there is a selection. So that is the funda of selection. So whatever adjustment you do, it will happen only inside the selection where the marching ants are appearing. If you want to do anything outside the selection, then you have to deselect this selection. Then only the outside area of interest will also get means you can adjust the outside area also. So by selecting, what generally why we use selections? We use selections to remove objects, to clone, for mostly for compositing, like for example for landscapes like sky replacement, and we do it for selective adjustments like to selectively brighten, darken, or do minor color adjustments on an area. So this is why we use selection. So we also need to note that cropping is also a selection, because in cropping what you do is that you select the area which is of interest to you and delete the other area. So this is cropping is also a selection tool. So if you will jump into Photoshop, so when you open Photoshop, if you see, this is the toolbar, okay, and the toolbars are arranged in such a way that there is a separate groups for each of the toolbars. So on the top, the very first, because that is how Photoshop derives it, because when you start to edit an image, first you need to know where do you want to image. What do you first you want to know? What do you want to edit? Like you have to visualize that, okay, I need to make this image look like that. You should have a vision. So as a start, before jumping into an adjustment, so you need to know where do you want to do the adjustment. So in order to do the adjustment, Photoshop has arranged the toolbar in such a way that the selection tool comes in the very first. So if you see, these are the selection tools, and then comes the retouch and paint tools, and then comes the drawing tool, and then the annotation measurement, and then comes the layer, that the foreground and background layer and all those. So as you see, the very first icons are all the selection tools. And if you see, inside each and every icon, there is a small arrow on the bottom left, which means that there are more tools inside that So it is like a group. Inside there are multiple tools inside the group. So if you just long press this, you will find out there are multiple tools inside the same group. So we will see that when we go to the actual practical presentation. So if you see, there is a rectangular selection here. So this is called as a rectangular marquee tool. And this and the next icon with the arrow and the plus symbol, this is called the move tool. And then next comes a tool which this is called as the lasso tool. And then comes the quick selection tool, and then bottom is the crop tool and the slice tool. So these are various groups in the toolbox, in the selection toolbox. So as I said that the marquee tools, move tool, lasso tool, and magic wand tool. So these are different selection tools which has a definite purpose. Like for instance, marquee tool, for example, rectangle, square, and circle, ellipse. So you can directly use that to select objects which are of similar shape. Move tool, once you do the selection, you can just move the tool around, move that selection around. That is the use of a move tool. Lasso tools, there are different lasso tools. For example, the polygon lasso tool, it can be used to select shapes, shapes of a definite boundary. Like if there is a definite boundary around a shape, then these tools are very much useful. Magic wand tool is a tool which is used for selecting subjects based on the color. So if you have a background with, say, for example, sky, if there are various hues of blue, this magic wand can easily select that hues of the different blue, and you can make a selection. And as I said, crop tool. So this crop tool is like you want only the bigger subject on that. So you are just selecting that area and then cropping it, and whatever is around that surface will get deleted. So this is also a selection tool. So this is something which is in the latest Photoshop object selection tool, which I'll explain at the last. And these also I will explain at the last. So what we will do is that we will straightly jump into Photoshop, and then I will explain you what are all the tools and how we can put it to use. Okay. So everyone can see my Photoshop.
Yes.
Okay. So yes. Okay. So if you, as I said, on the very left of Photoshop, there is this toolbar wherein all the selection tools are available here. So the first one is the move tool, and the second one is the elliptical tool. So if you see, when I click at the bottom, I am getting what are all the tools hidden inside that group. So for instance, there is a rectangular tool, an elliptical tool. And similarly, when I'm clicking at the lasso tool, I'm getting a normal lasso tool, a polygon lasso tool, and a magnetic lasso tool. And then when I'm clicking this quick selection, I'm getting a quick selection tool and magic wand tool. And when I'm clicking the crop tool, I'm getting a crop and perspective. So there are multiple tools which are hidden inside each and every tool. So we will just try to understand what tool to apply on what scene and how do we get a selection. In this, I'm trying to show you how to do a selection. So after you do a selection, there are multiple processes which you apply to a selection, like refine the selection or do precise selection. So those I feel are slightly advanced and which can be taken up in a next session. So what we will do is that we will try to understand how to do a selection. Now, if you see this image is it is a layer which has two colors, that is white and black. Now, if you see the shape of it is the shape of the canvas is in a portrait orientation, in which two colors are there in a rectangular manner. So now, how do we select this? So first, if you want to select this, as you see, there is a rectangular marquee tool. So selection is simple. You select the rectangle marquee tool, and then you just draw a rectangle on top of it, and then it gets selected. So as simple as that. So if you want to select a shape which is rectangle, then you can use the rectangle marquee tool. Now, where does it help you? For example, when you are taking a vertical or horizontal seascape, okay, there is a solid horizon. So that horizon is like between the sea and the sky. So that horizon is flat, and then in the canvas it appears as a rectangle. So if you have to do any adjustment to the sky, you can use a precise selection using the rectangular marquee tool. So just take the rectangle marquee tool and then draw a rectangle on top of it like this, and then it is done. So this is how a marquee tool works. Now you have done the selection, for example, okay, you have done a selection like this. Now you have selected more of a sky. In the real scenario, you have selected more of the sea. So you don't want this. So what you can do is that you can go to select and then deselect. So you have now deleted the selection. The keyboard shortcut is Control D. So now either there are two things what we can do. You can delete the entire selection and then redo the new selection, or since you have done the selection this much, there is an excess selection here. So you can subtract it from the selection. So that is where the tools on the top are used for. Now, generally, that by default, it will be on the first square. Okay, that is selection. Now, when you go to the next one, okay, the next tool over here, it is add to selection. That is, if you have, for example, I will show it in the black, it will be a little visible for you. Now I have selected this area. I have left a little bit block on the top. So if I want to add to this, I want to add to this selection, I will use the second option here. Now in my first case, I have selected more. So if I have to delete it, I will use the next one. So I will show you how I do that. For instance, I have selected this area and I have selected more of this area. So I have to delete this particular area from the selection. So I will just click this, okay, and then just select this area from that. And what happens is that whatever selection I had made, this particular thing is deleted from it. So how do you know that you are in the deletion mode? Is that in the cursor below that you will find the minus symbol, which means that it is in the deletion mode. So whatever you select now, it will get deleted from that. Okay, now we have deleted. So I want to add this area. So what I will do, I will just click the second one, and then my cursor becomes plus plus. So I will just select this particular area which I need to add, and then it gets selected. So this is how you do a selection using a rectangular marquee tool. Okay, so now we have done the selection. Okay, so now let us go to the next tool, which is the elliptical marquee tool. So elliptical marquee tool are used to select subjects which are round in shape, okay, or circle or ellipse. So what you have to do is that you have to just hover it around that, and then it will get selected. But the thing is that this tool will not give a proper selection, and you have to keep on moving, adjusting. So I will show you a different method to select like this round shapes. So moving to the second example. So now we have a shape like this. So if we use a rectangular marquee tool, okay, and then if we want to select this, it cannot go in a diagonal ways. It can go only in a portrait or landscape orientation. So how do you select this particular area, this triangle on top? So for that, we will use the next tool, that is the lasso tool. So lasso tool is a kind of a freehand sketch wherein you can just draw. If I want to select, I will just put that, and then I will draw the selection like this. This is not okay. So this is a selection where you can. So this is a freehand kind of thing. So wherever you select, it will just get selected. So how do you use it for selecting this? So what you have to do is that just draw on top of this, and then it will get selected. So this is the most commonly used tool for selection, where most of the times we have to do a selection of say a mountain is there, wherein the edges are not geometrically correct. So what you do is that you use this rectangle, this marquee tool, this sorry lasso tool. This is a very useful tool to do multiple selections, or you can do complex selection with this. It is just a freehand tool where then you can use it to select any subject. So this tool can also be used in three different ways. So now I have done this selection. So I have selected both the white area and the black area. So if I have to delete it, I have to just click this the third one, and if you see, the tool has become minus, and I will just draw on top of this, and then I will deselect it. So this is how this tool can be used. Now, if you see this particular area, it's a straight edge. So now you can use this tool in addition like when you use it for selection, you can use it in multiple ways. You can use you can hold down your shift key, which means that it is minus, and then you can use your alt key to add or delete. So if you press shift, if you see on the top, if you press shift, it will automatically change from positive like to addition and deletion. So the shift is for addition and alt is for deletion. So you can use that shortcut keys to help you in doing the selections. Okay. So now we have seen the lasso tool. Similar way, there is a tool inside this called polygon lasso tool. Polygon lasso tool are used when there is a solid separation between the two areas, when you see a sharp separation. For example, I'm selecting this. Okay. So now if you see, this tool moves in a in what do you call, in a straight line. So whenever you have a straight shape, when you have a solid shape, this tool can be easily used. So this particular tool is very helpful when you have a solid line like this. For example, I'm just clicking here, and then if I'm clicking was that visible? Yeah. So I'm just clicking here, okay, and then I'm just clicking here and here, and then a selection is done. So this particular tool is very helpful when you have a straight or solid lines like this. It is very useful to do a precise selection. You just need to select the corners of the image where you want to do the selection, and this tool does the right job for you. So you can do complex selections using this. So you have to just where you started, you have to just stop like this. So it will make a selection. So this is very useful in doing a selection where you have a straight line or a straight horizon or straight this thing. This tool is very much helpful. Now, as I said, for selecting the circle, there is another tool that is called as the magnetic lasso tool. So what this magnetic lasso tool does is that it will apply the anchor point around the areas where there is a sharp the sharp separation or sharp line. For instance, if I have to select this circle, if I'm using the normal lasso tool or the polygon lasso tool, like the normal lasso tool, I'm selecting like this. I cannot precisely select unless you're using a tablet. You cannot do a precise selection like this. So there will be certain areas which are not selected. So for using this particular for selecting this particular circle, what you can do is that you can use the magnetic lasso tool. So what this tool does is that you have to just click and then go around the circle. So it will automatically select it for you. You need not do anything. You have to just go around the area where you want to select. So how does this tool work is that since there is a solid separation between this circle and the outer area, like it can be of geometrical separation, it can be of contrast separation, it can be of color separation. It it selects the areas where there is a huge difference. So now when you start from here and then go around like this, okay, when you come to the starting point, automatically you will find a circle below the tool, which means that the selection is complete. So now we have done the selection precisely. We did not have any strains in selecting this. Instead, if we have used the other tools, we would have found it very difficult to get a precise selection like this. So this is how a magnetic tool works. Next, coming to the next tool, that is called as the quick selection tool. So these are a kind of what do you call tools which use artificial intelligence in Photoshop. So these tools are based on multiple factors. They work color based, they work contrast based, and geometrical dimensions based, which means that if you have a solid geometrical separation like a mountain with the sharp edges, then these tools work great. So this is how these tools are designed for. For example, if I want to do a selection of the brightest area in this, this is a gradient where you have a gradual separation between whites to black. So if you see, the color of whites are diminishing from top till mid. So somewhere here you can say it is 50% gray, and then 40, 30, 20, 10, and this is white. So similarly below. So if I want to do a selection, I want to do a selection of whites. I cannot use the elliptical tool and do the selection because it doesn't know what is white and what is gray. It just selects the area which I mark. Okay, so in this case, how do I do the selection? So what I would do is, I will go, sorry, the magic wand tool. Okay, I will select it and I will click. So what it does is, the magic wand tool does. Oh, the magic wand tool does is that it selects the area where that is white, and whatever it sees that it is closer to white. And then if you add this, it will select further, it will further add the area. For example, this. So it will keep on adding the areas based on the variations in the tonal range or the contrast range, whatever selection you do it. So one important thing is that selections have to be made always on the area, on the layer where you want to do the selection. For example, previously what I did, I was on this particular layer and I did the selection. So it selected the rectangle for me. So in that case, your selection is not working properly. So in order to do a selection, you have to be on the layer where you want to do the selection. Okay, and one more tip is that selections does not work on blank layers. So if you have a blank layer and you are working on a blank layer, the selections won't happen. So you have to always have a work on a layer which has some color value in that. It does not work on a blank or empty layer. So as I said, this magic wand tool, for example, if you click, it will select this area, and if you want to add, you have to just add, and it will select the area. Similarly, we will do it for the black, so it has selected. So if you want to do it on the red, if you select, it will select precisely. You don't have to do anything because the system knows that this particular thing has a different color values than the outside. Same thing the quick selection tool also does. So what the quick selection tool does is that you have to just go and hover it on the area and it will select it for you. So this also works on the same principle. Now, if you are seeing that white area, so if you select, wherever you drag, when there is a similar value, it selects. And when there is a sharp value, it automatically marks that area and then it does the precise selection. So these two, so as I said, there are few tools which are very useful, and this particular tool is very useful while for selecting skies, for selecting mountains, etc. The magic wand tool, what happens is that many of the time, for instance, in this particular area, if you use the magic wand tool, okay, since there is a lot of color variations, if you use this, it behaves little weirdly because there are a lot of tonal shifts and other things. So in this particular kind of thing, what you can do is that you can use either the magic wand tool or the quick selection tool for getting precise selections. Okay. So any doubts so far in the tools? So if there is no doubt, then we can go to the real world example.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
One
Yeah,
question.
Yeah.
I use Lightroom and I use Imagenomic portraitures and
Okay.
other kind of Nick collection or sometime,
Okay.
and I find it the application it applies everywhere throughout the
Correct.
picture.
Correct.
Is it possible in Photoshop we can do it selectively? Just a question.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes,
Can do
you
that, right?
can do it. For example,
If you're covering that later, it's okay. I just wanted to.
I can just quickly show you that. For example, this is a selection. Okay. So now, once you do the selection, you can go to your Nick collection and then do the adjustment, and it will adjust only this area.
Okay.
Because you have done a selection. I can just show you.
Especially, I was looking for imagenomic portraiture. When you do portraiture.
Okay, you can do that. You can just select the subject space. Okay, and you can use any of the tools to apply the do the select the subject space and then go to imagenomic portraiture. Now, for example, I will just colorize it. So I will select the color. Okay. Okay. So since I have selected this and applied the filter, it applies only to that area.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. So we will just go down to the real world example.
Tino, I have one question.
Yeah, just
When we do selections while editing the pictures,
yes,
there is something called as feathering and smoothing.
yes.
What basically how it support and how it is helpful for like kind of when we cut the pictures and we post to some other kind of background or something like that.
Okay, so I'll just what I thought was that was little advanced level, but I'll just quickly demonstrate you what it does. For
Yeah.
instance, you have done the selection of this.
Okay.
Okay, this mountain. Okay,
Okay.
and the edges are slightly sharp. So what you are doing is that you will press Q. It will show you the selected area.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can go to your filter, blur, and Gaussian blur, and then if you see here, if you increase, it will feather the selection.
Mm-hmm.
So what it does is that it creates a smoother selection. So how this will be useful is that when you have say branches or some areas where you don't want a sharper selection, it will leave a sharper line. So in this case, you can use this, and then you can do the feathering. Okay. So so if you see the image, the selection has become a rather feathered out, so that the 100, so it will not look like a solid line in between the two. So that is how the feathering is done. And another case, when you do the selection, okay, so if you do the selection like this, you can increase the feather over here. So what it does is that the selection will not be very abrupt. It will be slightly smooth. So it will feather out the selection.
Okay.
So that is where the feathering comes into picture.
Okay.
Okay. And okay. So if you
Thanks,
see our first, sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah. So if you see our first example which we did in the selection, this particular example. Okay. We talked about a rectangular marquee tool where you do a selection. So in real life, you will find examples like this. For instance, that you take a shot where there is a straight horizon. So you can just apply this particular tool and then select only the horizon. So this particular thing, what I have done is that since the horizon is straight, I have just selected it and I got the sky selected. So whatever adjustments I do now, I will do only on the sky. For instance, you want to change the sky color, if you want to add any clouds, or if you want to darken it, all that I can do. For instance, if I have to darken it, I will just go and add a level or curve, and I will just bring it down and I will darken it. So it will apply only on the sky. It will not affect my foreground. So this is one example where the rectangular marquee tool is used. I hope most of us have a situation like this, wherein we take a lot of seascapes, and this particular tool is very much useful in that. Okay, so this is an example of a selection of a rectangular marquee tool. Now, if you come down here, if you want to do any selection on this particular mountain over here, for example, so if you use a rectangular marquee tool, it is not possible because it will select the sea, the land, everything. So what you can do is you can try with the magic wand tool. You just click. What it does, whatever is having the color value of this particular selection, it will select everything. So you ended up having a vast selection rather than a narrow selection. So what do? You try the next selection, which is the lasso tool. So lasso tool, you have to just go around this particular thing. like this, draw a line. So this is one way of doing that. So, and then the next way of doing that is using a quick selection tool. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking the quick selection tool. If you see this tool is slightly bigger. If I want to decrease the size of the tool, I will just go here and click this and then reduce the size of this tool. Okay. So now I'm just hovering on top of the mountain, and Photoshop selects the area for me like this, a clean selection. Now there are some rocks left over here. So if I start using this tool, what happens is that it selects the sea also. So what I have to do is that I have to decrease my brush size, okay, and then do a selection like this. Okay, now if you see, there is some area which I don't want. So what you can do is that two ways you can delete this from this. One is you can go back to your lasso tool and click the delete option and just draw the areas where you don't want, and it will delete it for you. So this is how you are using multiple tools in one particular scenario. So now you are using multiple tools for this selection. So now you have done the selection. So what I have to do, if I have to slightly do an exposure or brightness, so I will just click here, go to levels, and I will just brighten it. Okay. So if you see, I have just brightened that particular area. I have not touched the surrounding areas or the sky or anything. So this is where the different tools work. So as you said, if I have used the same tool here, I may not have I may have to spend a long time in doing the selection, wherein I will get the selection, but my workflow will increase, or the time for my workflow will increase. So since the horizon is straight, simple that I'll just go click this and then mark it. So my selection is done. Rather, if I use the other tool like the ellipse tool, I have to go here and I have to precisely, slowly, I have to just select this area like this, and then some of the C will be included. So I have to then delete it. So instead of that, I will just take my rectangular tool and then select it. When my selection is done. So this is how you can incorporate most of the tools in your workflow. Okay, so we'll go to the next example where we can use Photoshop's artificial intelligence to do it. So this particular scene, if you see, there is a strong color difference between the background and the subject. So the subject is dark and the background is in blue in color. So you can, this is, if you see, if you use the lasso tool, this is a very complex selection because you cannot do the selection. Now you will have to spend hours in doing the selection, which is not possible. So what we will do is, we will take the quick selection magic wand tool and click on the subject. Okay, so what I did, I just selected the magic wand tool and clicked on the subject, and Photoshop did the selection for me. Now, since there are some blacks in the background, those things also got selected. So I need to delete it. So I can delete it very easily. I can just go to the lasso tool and then click deletion, and then I will just draw around it like this, like this, like this, and then it is deleted. Or what I can do, I can just click my quick selection tool and I will increase the brush size and I will select like this, and the selection is done. So these are different ways to do this. Either when there is a strong difference between the subject and the background, you can either select the subject or the background. For example, if you want to select the background, you have to just select this and just run over the background, and the background is selected. Now what you can do, I don't like the color of the background, so I'm just changing the color of the background. So whatever color I want, I can just do it. So this is how in real world you can use multiple tools in a single image. Next, I'll give an example.
Mike, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, tell me.
In the previous example, where
Yes.
you change the color
Yes.
of the background, did you inverse the selection?
No, that is what I did. So what I told you is there are two ways what you can do. One is you can select the subject, okay, and then if you want to change the background, you can either select the background directly, or if you want to do it in a other way, like for example, if you have a background and you have a subject,
Yes.
and the subject is comparatively lesser or smaller in size compared to the background. Now in that case, selecting a background is doesn't make sense, because you have to do a lot of selection. So what you can do is that you can just go to your magic wand tool or the quick selection tool. Okay, in that case, the quick selection tool, I will just select the subject. Okay, now I want to change or modify the background. So what I will do, since I have selected the subject and the selection of the subject is easier for me, I will go to select and I'll click inverse. So whatever is outside the subject will get selected. So this is one method. So this is how you incorporate the tools into in your workflow and speed up your workflow. So basically the idea is like you have a mountain and a sky. Okay, for instance, you have you have done in rule of thirds, you have kept your mountain and your foreground in the lower half. Okay, and then you have a huge sky. So if you have to do an adjustment in the sky, you have to see if selecting a sky will take more time or selecting the foreground takes more time. So if you feel that the selecting a sky takes more time, then what you can do is you can select the foreground and just inverse it, and your sky will get selected.
Got it. Thank you.
So this is how you can apply it in your. So for instance, I'll show you this example.
Where is this rock, Chino?
No, this is not mine. I'll have to ask the guy. This is somewhere from the US.
Good background for Milky Way.
Yeah, I can do that. So for example, this is an image where the skies are little dull, for example. So if you have to do the selection of a sky, now in our previous examples, the horizon was straight, so you can just use the rectangle tool and select it. Now in this case, there are rocks and the selection is not if you see, there is no sharp geometrical lines where you can just use a marquee tool or elliptical lasso tool or whatsoever. So this particular selection, we will try to do it in multiple ways. So for example, I don't already selected it. So I have the layer where I need to select it. So first I will do the quick selection tool. I will just run on top of it. And then my selection is done. But if you see here, some rocks are selected because as I said, quick selection tool uses an algorithm where there is a strong contrast difference, then it will do the selection correctly. But if you see, the sky is bright and the rocks are also equally shining because of the sunlight. So there is not much of a contrast or a tonal difference. So the quick selection tool did not work. What I can do is that I can go back to the quick selection tool and then I can just delete it from the selection. So I can reduce my brush and then I can just run on top of it like this. And get the selection I want. Okay, this is one way. Okay, or else so let us try the magic wand tool. So I have selected the magic wand tool and then I have selected. So wherever there is blue, it will select. So I have to do multiple selections. So I will add it to the selection and then click, and then this whites are not selected because I clicked on the blue and I will click here and it does a very good selection. So and okay, sorry. So if you see here, this is not selected. So I will again go here and then click. So if you see, the selection is done. So whatever I was not able to select because of the other using the other tool, I was able to do with the magic wand tool. So now that I have done the selection, what I can do is I can delete this background or I can modify this background or do whatever changes I want. So in case I have to darken the sky, I can just add an adjustment layer. So if I have to use or replace the sky, what I can do is I will just click mask over here. Okay. And then I will just drop my I will just delete this layer mask. Okay, so I'm just deleting the string by delete key. Okay, and I will just drop the sky down and it is done. So this is a method how you do a selection and then use sky as a replacement. Or so if I'm not using a sky, if I want the sky to be completely blue, I can just add a solid color and I will just click whatever a fairly blue sky and just do it. So I just change the color of the sky by having a selection. And if you see the selection is also fairly good. There is no halos or any whatsoever. It is also fairly good. Even the things beneath, like between the trees, have also got selected. So this is how you use selection tools in your real life scenarios. So any questions? We can start the Q&A session or any other doubts from.
You may unmute and ask directly.
Mike, can you repeat the sky change thing that you just did?
Okay.
You added a mask.
I didn't add a mask here. because I didn't want to go into the layer mask thing. So what I will do is I will just delete this layer. Okay. So this was the original image. I will what I will do is that I will just drag it down and duplicate the layer. Okay. And then I use the quick mask tool, just selected it, selected it, selected it. Okay, now this is selected. So I don't want the sky. So I just click backspace or delete, and the sky is deleted. So since the background layer is visible, it is seen. So now it is empty. So if you have a sky, you can just drag and drop any image. And as you must have attended Byju's section, Photoshop session. So you were talking about layers. So what Photoshop does is that whatever layers you add on top of it, it will get visible. So now I wanted to add the sky behind this rock. So what I did, I will just drag the sky beneath the rock.
Okay.
So if I have to do a layer mask, then it is a different thing. What I have to do is I have to do the selection and then mask it and then bring the sky and then mask the same thing to make this. Instead of that, if you want to replace the whole thing, the best option is that to drag and drop the sky below it and then it will get replaced.
Okay.
If you want, for example, like this is a solid color, okay. I created a solid color for it. I'll just create a new solid color. Okay, so I want this color to appear below my background. So I will just drag and drop it below it, and it is done.
Okay.
So all I have to do is select it, and then I'll just delete the selection. So it will become a transparent layer, and then with nothing on top. And then I will just add whatever I want, and I will just put it below that, and then it will come as my background.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So anything more on selection?
Pen tool, did we talk about pen tool or?
No, pen tool, no, because pen tool is as a tool itself. There are different what do you call keyboard shortcuts which is required to do the precise selection. So I thought that this will be the basic one, so we can discuss that. We can take it up.
You can go according to your plan, but I was just asking because
because we didn't do the pen tool. We did not go for selection based on luminosity, channels, coloring, and all those things. So there are like, if you ask me, there are more than 10-15 tools which can be used for doing this selection.
No, I asked you the question because in between I got disconnected for some time. So
okay.
Yeah, I asked to show the most commonly used one, so people can grab it. Then later, we can go to the advanced level. Then further.
No, it is really good, Libin. I just wanted to add because I purchased a lot of courses and a lot of things I was following. But my mind is something, like if you don't tell me why is that, then I don't learn it. It's a kind of thing like that. But now, I was with Mr. Byju, and it was pretty cool for me. That means he gave us an idea. What is layer? I know that now because I can now search and learn more. Now today, he has demonstrated, the selection in a wonderful way. This is what exactly people like me are looking for. We really appreciate your effort. We really thank you so much.
Michael, can I ask something?
Yeah, please.
Michael, in the previous picture, you select the subject.
Okay.
But you changes the other area except the subject. Suppose if you want to change the subject, you want to do some variation and changes in subject. What is the selection?
Same thing. Okay. So now what we did, we selected this background.
Yeah, background.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I asked you not this picture. Before you, the man was
Okay.
that picture.
This one.
Yeah. You selected the subject and
Correct.
you changes the background.
Uh-huh.
Suppose you want to changes in the subject, what you will do?
Okay. So now, for example, this
Yeah.
particular subject is there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, since it is black, I cannot do much changes because whatever color I apply on black, it will become black. But then I will show you what can be done. So now, if you want to select the subject, I will just go and then I will select the subject. I have done the subject. Okay. Yes. Lasso tool is this one. This is the quick selection tool. So I have selected the subject. So now if I want to add any like of a gradient or something, I will just go here and I will add.
Okay.
So this will affect the subject.
Okay. Gradient. Okay.
Yeah, gradient, or what you can do is that you can go to solid color and change the color. Whatever color you want, you can just change.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Don't
It's a
teach
nice,
that man all these things. He want to sleep more. He doesn't want to, go out and shoot early morning. He just want to bring some sky and cloud and put it back and finish his job. Now let him get up early morning and go to take photos. Don't teach him.
So any more questions? This is an interactive kind of session. We can, if if you have any doubts on your own images, also we can work on that. That is not an issue.
Now I'm going to select so many things extensively.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is really good. This is really good. Now I got an idea what to do because these different kind of tools and things were kind of confusing for me. Now it's getting clear, more clear and clear. So I think I can do better. Let us see.
Tino, I have one question.
Yeah.
If you see your current image, it is having many colors in that image. But I'm just looking for to select the blue areas or and saturate the blue more or something like play with only blues.
Yes.
So which is like a more feasible tool to use for like specific to color selections and all.
Yeah, so specific to color selection, then the magic wand tool is only good. So you can just go and click on the blue, like for example, this particular blue. So now I clicked on the white. Okay, so now I'll just click.
I'm confused whether you have selected blues really.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'll just go and then I will go to saturation and I will just saturate the blue.
Okay, fine, got it.
So this tool works since it works on the tonal range. So if you click on that particular color, then you can precisely work on that color alone. And Ajay, to answer that question, when you do that selection, no, if you see here in this particular tool, there is a area here, sample size. So it says point sample. Point sample is whichever point you click, that particular thing will get selected. Okay. So what you can do is that you can click 3x3 average. So if you click here, then that particular 3x3 area, it will get selected. The expanded, it expands the area more.
Means it has more room to add blue shades.
Yes. So it will add the blues as well as it will add the hues of blues also.
Okay, fine. Got it.
That's it.
That's more useful. Thanks.
Yeah.
Libin, do we have group photo, Libin?
Yes, we have to. Tino, you completed from your.
Yeah. My side it is okay. I'll just add 2 more points.
Hey, Abdullah is so interested in group photo.
No, because if everything is over, then I want to go out. That's the reason.
You are in hurry.
No, nothing like that. I was outside. Morning I went
I
out
saw
for
something regarding your post. When it is tomorrow?
which one?
One post I saw Libin was sharing something.
This is for BF tomorrow evening.
Evening.
Tomorrow evening.
Okay.
So if anyone has the latest version of Photoshop, that is 2019 and above, so there are more tools added, like the object selection tool. So what this object selection, so this, and there is something called as the subject tool. So what it does is that it automatically, if you want to, for instance, if you want to select this particular lens without selecting the background, you have to just click this lasso tool and draw around this. And what it does is it automatically selects only the lens. So these are in the latest versions of Photoshop. So I have 2018, so that is the reason I was not able to show this. And in 2020, there is a tool called subject selection. So if you're more into portraits and other things, you can just precisely select the subject and do whatever adjustment you want. You can it does a very good algorithm and calculates the background, and especially if you have shot with a very narrow aperture, then the selection is very precise because there is a definite separation between the subject and the background. So Photoshop does a very good selection.
Yeah, I have this option. I thought it is an old one because recently I started during this COVID. I started learning Photoshop, so I thought it's. I have the latest one. In my tab, I'm using the 1cc, which I'm paying monthly 3.5 real. But I have that copy, 2020 copy. I have.
Yeah, so in that you can very well do that.
Okay.
So this will be continuing, Libin. How it works then next week?
Sorry.
This course will be continuing like this.
We will see because this was very short notice for I just called yesterday and arranged it, so we have to see.
Now, Now the problem is we selected everything. It's fine, but what to do next? You have to teach us that as well.
That's
bring on picture. Bring on your model picture, and we can do it anything.
Okay.
You want to see that?
Can you enable the videos, guys, so we can take a group shot of? I think Abdullah is in a hurry for.
No. I'm not in a hurry because people are nobody's talking, so I thought of.
Yeah. Okay.
सुनील जी आपका वो फोटो ब्यूटीफुल था कोरम बीच का Mr. Sunil Rao has posted one photo of Koram Beach. So several times whenever I go there, I see moon through that, sun through that, and I wanted to, but just because of lazy, I never go down there. But I had this in my mind. But he has shown us an exemplary, beautiful example of that, how a photographer looks through. Beautiful, beautiful image.
Thank you.
Okay. Tino, your video is not visible?
Yeah, 1 second, because my antivirus blocked. Is it seen?
No, still.
It's in dark.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1 second. Okay, one more. Ready? Okay, that's it. So thank you so much, Tino, for your support on a short
you.
notice. And let's see how to proceed with the other tools. Otherwise, we'll see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because
Thank you
we
so
are
much.
halfway, you know. We just
Abdullah is not expert in photo.
Photoshop. ഞാൻ ഒരുപാട് കാലമായിട്ട് ട്രൈ ചെയ്തിട്ട് I couldn't do anything. I just
Now you are
നമസ്കാരം finished.